What's up, y'all? Let's take a look at this Preakness here now. As most of you know, journalism won a great Preakness. That one's going down in the history books for sure. Uh, Most impressive Preakness I've seen since a Fleet Alex in 2005, hit by Scrappy T, coming around the final turn, and then a Fleet Alex just powered back, showed that strength, tenacity, endurance, resilience that you like to see out of a champion horse. For some reason, the guys over at the Baffert, or not Baffert, sorry, the Bayer Speed for your team, I heard they gave him a 98. Hogwash, that's ridiculous. I gave him a 108, as I did Gosker, which is the same. I mean, that makes the another 108 that he ran. I had him running a 108 in the Derby as well. So that holds up. That's why I like my speed figures better than Byers, because giving him a 98 in that race makes no sense, given the race, the trouble that the horse had. I don't even have to include the trouble that he had to give him a 108. If I include the trouble, I would probably bump it up to like a 113. 155 and 2/5 seconds was the final time in that one. Opening half mile 46 and 3/4 mile was 110 and 1. So they weren't playing around out there. It was Clever again that got the lead. They pretty much let him have it, as we saw. I thought American Promise was kind of right where I thought he was going to be. Goal Oriented was right where I thought he was going to be. River Thames, I thought, was too close to this pace, I think, to his detriment. Gosker, though. Gosker was the most aggressive stalker in this race, and it really worked to his advantage. Luis Saez really delivered on the ride there, I think, for Brendan Walsh. Able to get the horse home for second. Maybe he would have won. I didn't see him back off of the horse in the final stretch. Journalism really looks like he just ran him down. But I'm sure Luis Saez would say, well, had I known that was going to happen, I could have gotten a little bit more out of my horse. Any competitor is going to say a thing like that, so I would expect. But great ride out of this. So let's go over these horses one by one here. The number one, Goal Oriented. As I said, he stalked the pace. When it came time to make a move, initially it looked like Journalism hit Goal Oriented. I had money on Goal Oriented primarily, and perhaps that's what I wanted to see, so that's why I was patient and waited. As I looked at it the second time, it looked like just a bit of a collision due to horse racing. Everybody's trying to get their horse into good shape. But as I slowed it down even more, I've got to say Flavian Pratt should have been pulled down. The one should have been pulled down, placed last. Flavian Pratt, in a move of gamesmanship, tried to move in front of Journalism, but he actually cut him off. He caused a bit of trouble for a lot of horses. In that move to cut off Journalism, Clever again, who was leading, he was done after that. He just gave up. He just eased him. Horse got hit. He was already losing steam, and he was completely done after that collision. River Thames, who was making a decent run at that point, had to drift out like 6 wide, it looked like. Ended up getting passed by Sandman, closed in 6th place, but that collision, I gotta say, was on Pratt. I know they didn't pull him down. They didn't think it was egregious enough. But for the record, that's what I think happened with that one. The number 2, Journalism, of course, the favorite. I think he went off even money. Got a gritty win after that collision. Rispoli, I've heard a little bit of criticism on the ride that he gave him. For Jerry Bailey saying he did the right thing. Other people saying he should have gone outside. He clearly had the strongest horse. I hate to say best horse because there's horses like Sandman, which have never run as close to the pace as you need to run. Um, I think there's a lot to be said for Sandman if he was more competitive. Um, and then Gosker, of course. I had Gosker running fourth. I don't know why he was 19-1. That was pretty dumb coming off that win in the Lexington for him to be so lowly bet. And they're betting these horses, Pay Billy and Heart of Honor. You could argue they didn't belong in the race. But Gosker, I don't know, coming off that Lexington win, they had him at 19-1, ran a great race. But journalism proved, you just got to say that journalism's just a bit better. Had the race been a bit shorter, Gosker would have won it. But they got it together for this race they were in. Journalism got the win. A lot of people are going to move him back up to the number one horse. I can't do that. He still lost to Sovereignty head-to-head, so I got to put him second. Third, the three, American Promise, Nick Juarez. I hope he gets fired after this ride. Lackluster ride. I thought maybe he was going to be even more aggressive than he was in the Kentucky Derby, but he wasn't at all. He didn't make a move until the race. After the collision happened. You see him trying to make a move to cut back inside and get his horse in position. He ended up running eighth. The horse was in good position the whole time. Nick Juarez was just along for the ride. I guess he was just trying to not screw up so much that he screwed up again. Hopefully he's out. Dwayne Lucas is the kind of guy that's going to run his horse in the Belmont. He's old. He wants to go along for the ride, the trip, the experience. Even if he thinks his horse probably isn't going to win, I think he's still going to be there because he's got this horse that can get there. And hopefully he gets somebody better than Nick Juarez to ride. Because I really like American Promise. I think the horse has a lot of promise. But Nick Juarez, buddy, you just need to I don't know, call up Jerry Bailey and get some tips or something. Just enough with that. Number 4, Heart of Honor. I saw a little pre-race thing where they had Jamie Osborne meeting Dwayne Lucas, and they asked Dwayne Lucas if he had anything to say to Jamie Osborne. Dwayne said, "Go home." He said, "You ship your horse halfway across the world, got your daughter riding it. It's obviously a publicity stunt." Obviously it was. Heart of Honor was clearly outmatched, outpaced. Sandman, who likes to run off the pace, when it came time to move, Heart of Honor and the 5 Pay Billy were just clearly out. They were just running a different race. They were running in a class of their own. These two horses did not really belong in this race. Heart of Honor did close to get 5th. I guess you say a decent ride, and that's what he told his daughter. They just go out there and give the horse a good ride. Don't go out there and try to beat these superstar horses. Just try to see what we can do, and maybe we'll hit the board. And they didn't hit the board, but 5th place finish. Nice ride. Once again, some of these people just get into these Triple Crown races just for the experience. It's a great party. A lot of these guys train for decades and never get to go. So you got a chance, you go. But Heart of Honor, I don't think it's worth trying to keep this horse here for the Belmont. I think the horse is outclassed. I mean, when you see horses like Journalism and Sovereignty, and then you got all these other horses in here that want to give them a run for their money. I just don't think Heart of Honor can be competitive. Same with the 5 Pay Billy. Pardon me. Raul Mena, once again, all I can say about this horse is outclassed. One word comment, outclassed, 7th place. Horse didn't belong in this race. Horse did belong in the race because the horse won the Federico Tessio. So the Federico Tessio winner does belong in the race. However, horse is not competitive class-wise with these other horses, and it showed. The 6th, the Pletcher horse, Irad Ortiz, River Thames. I see what Irad was trying to do, trying to keep the horse close enough to the pace. He essentially tried to do what Saez did with Gosker. I don't think that was the right move. I think he should just run his normal race. I think we would have closed a lot better. Not sure that he would have won. I think maybe third probably would have been the best he was looking at given these circumstances. But he ended up running sixth. I think he was too close to this pace. And then um, instead of being wide enough to steer clear of all the drama, he really got affected by it. And I think that affected his finishing position. Will we see River Timms back again? I don't know. Haskell, maybe, probably dropping back to something like that. Some mile races. I think this horse probably belongs in miles, uh, and not anything over that. I think the horse is not going to be as competitive anything over 8 furlongs. Um, Number 7, Sandman, the crowd favorite horse. Now, I kind of broke a little bit of a rule because I was like, there's too much money bet on this horse, and under normal circumstances, the horse would not be in his position. I would have had the trifecta most likely if I had him bumped up a notch because I did have one with Clever again, just based on where the odds were at, and I replaced Clever again for Sandman, who would have been there. Um, the betting public, the hype, sometimes there's something to it. Sandman has got a lot of fans. The horse closes well. I'll never take that away from a horse that closes well. People loved Sierra Leone last year. Horse closed well. Sandman to me is like Sierra Leone's little brother. I mean, in spirit. Uh, it took Sierra Leone until the Breeders' Cup Classic to finally get it timed out right and run down that win. And what a great win it was once they finally got it timed down right. Will it take Sandman to the Breeders' Cup Classic to get it done? I don't know. I think the horse has a lot more run in him than we've seen so far. I think the horse can put up at least another 5 speed figure points on his time, if not 10. Can he compete with journalism and sovereignty? Not sure. Maybe if Johnny V stays on him. This was Johnny V's first time on him. Good ride to get him in there to third, but they've got to be more aggressive on this horse if he's going to get some wins in the future. That's all I got to say. They've got to be more aggressive. Number 8, Clever again. Got the lead again like we expected. I kind of thought the lead would be too much this horse and he would fade. He did start to fade. However, he was completely eased after that collision with goal-oriented and journalism. So he ran last, 9th place. You can't speed figure score that. All you can say is that the horse ran and didn't win. So they're going to regroup, try to bring it back. Horse was lightly raced. I think a lot of people put too much faith in this horse to think a horse that lightly raced is going to be able to take the lead and put away these other horses. That's very tough to do, especially if you're not a Baffert horse. So that didn't work out for those you that like Clever again, but I think we'll see Clever again back. Good horse, just tough race. And last but not least, the 9. I mean, if I could score the ride, you've got to give this an A+ ride. I think he got everything out of this horse that you could probably get. Luis Saez rode right behind Clever again, as we said. Went and took the lead right on time. Looked like he had it until journalism got after getting in trouble. Rispoli, which you give him credit for Rispoli for coming back, but you also got to take a little bit away from Rispoli for getting his horse in trouble to begin with. I don't think he should have, been in that position to begin with, but nonetheless, quality ride for Gosker. Will we see Gosker back in the Belmont? Not sure, but we will see this horse again after that good ride in the Preakness. They're certainly not going to sit on that kind of talent. So, that's it for the Preakness here. I was going to rank my top 5 horses. I didn't really do that, but I guess off the top of my head, I still got to say that number one horse, 3-year-old wise right now, is still Sovereignty. You got to win on the track. I'm sorry. We, I don't, I can't say, well, this horse looks so great against a horse that he wasn't running against. And so he's better than that horse that wasn't in the race. That's nonsensical. So journalism is still the second best horse in my opinion. Sovereignty number one. I hope to see a rematch. I want to see a rematch in the mile and a quarter Belmont Stakes. I think everybody wants to see that, and let him sell the score again on the dirt where it belongs. Third place horse right now. I'm saying I gotta go Sandman. Closed well. Like I said, horse shows a lot of grit, a lot of heart. Maybe they're going to be able to get him back into shape coming up for the Belmont. I think that is going to be where he's probably going to shine a little bit better. Especially you got Johnny V on him. Johnny V knows Saratoga very well. And so I give him a slight edge in third place over Baeza, who I guess we're probably going to see Flavian Pratt back aboard Baeza in the Belmont. A lot of people love this horse. Beaten twice now by journalism. So I think journalism is clearly better than him. He did finish ahead of Sandman once, though. So a lot of people will probably want to jump back on Baeza, probably think he's the next best horse. But we'll see what he can put together coming up there for the Belmont Stakes. And next, I don't know. I got to say Gosker. The speed figure I give him at a 108 puts him right up there with the rest of these horses. Coming off a big win, shows that he can be competitive with the rest of these horses here. Probably going to have Saez back aboard with Brendan Walsh. So I had a feeling that one of these horses, via River Thames, I kind of thought it was going to be River Thames. It kind of stuck out as that next level of horse. And it turns out it was Gosker who made that step up. So we'll keep an eye on these horses as to who's going to be in the Belmont Stakes. But hopefully we're going to be looking at a rematch between Sovereignty and Journalism.